What is up, everybody? Welcome to DPF on Tap, Season 2, Episode 4. Before we get started, kind of want to talk about our sponsor. So Pensive Technology hooked the garage up with full networking capabilities. If you remember, I was kind of stuttering and stamming, and it wasn't because of the beers. My connection was no good out here. He came in, hooked me up. I got a 1 gig connection. Pensive also does things like hanging TVs, any audio needs, securities, and cameras out there. So we wanted to thank them for their sponsorship and check them out online, Pensive Technology. We link them in our Facebook and go directly to their page, pensivetechnology.com. So if you notice, we have another new face today. I wanted to welcome Austin from No Fly Zone. They are going to be doing the tailgates for DPF. The tailgates that we're doing right now that are on the calendar are going to be 3:30 and 5:18. And I'm going to scroll across the bottom when these, where to sign up for these. So we'll talk to Austin right now. But Austin, so tell me about how this started and why you guys did it. No Fly Zone and the bus itself.
Well, how it started. So back in 2022, Nick and we started doing tailgates together. And by the NFC Championship game, we had almost 300 people show up to the tailgate. It was the biggest one he's ever ran in the past, biggest one I ever ran. Mm-hmm. And we had so much demand and positivity from all the people who were coming to the event that, we started thinking, what if we got like a little small van that we could, have all decaled up with our logos on it. That way we could transport everything back and forth instead of using a U-Haul. And we could, maybe have a little trailer with a bar attached to it. And then that just got blown totally out of proportion because we decided to get this bus instead. So we have a 40-foot coach bus that got gutted from all inside, all the seats, everything was taken out. So it was just a giant tin can. And
so people that don't know what a coach bus is, this isn't a school bus. This isn't like a SEPTA bus. This is a legit luxury bus already.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was before we even did any of the modifications.
Yep.
So it was already that. So we had an idea and we had a budget and we had things we were going to stick by, and we did not stick to any of those things. And we have a product where every square inch of it has been, completely customized and immersified for like Philly sports, tailgates, and parties. And it's incredible.
Awesome. So was alcohol involved in this decision whatsoever and some of like the cool shit you got?
Yeah. So we bought the bus from a church, and I was drunk in Nick's basement, and he was like trying to explain to me, the risks involved with doing this. Like we could get scammed before we even get the bus. We can go bankrupt. This can just not work. And I guess I needed some liquid confidence to send the down payment for the bus because I kept on telling him, like, let's do it. For everyone who doesn't know, Nick and I, we were in this together. He could not attend this tonight, but he hedges his bets, right? And he really thinks of all the things that can happen, good and bad. I'm just more of a yes man. And so we push each other, and I'm just glad where we are today with what we have, and that we, got to the end on our feet. So
what can we expect from the 3:30 and 5:18 tailgate? Like, what do you guys have in store?
Well, first of all, we will have draft beer. I've never seen a bus that has kegs on tap. We have a full bar. We have themed drinks. We do have a menu that we will be dropping. I'll be posting it on my Instagram and Facebook, and I'm sure Chris will be dropping it as well. We will be having pizza made to order by the slice. Nick's famous chicken wings. So I have gained like 20 pounds since I moved to this house. Nick and I are neighbors because of his food, and he's making this food, and it's incredible. the stuff he makes his homemade sauces. It's all fried. It's delicious. And then we are also having Primo Hoagies sponsor the 3:30 tailgate, and they will be dropping off a few hundred of their delicious hoagies. The known as veggies is my favorite one. And then we will also be having a few salads as well. Nick's famous pasta salad. I had a graduation party at my house a few years ago, and my friends still talk about Nick's pasta salad. And this was like 3 years ago. So the food
it's funny. I was talking to Nick, and I was like, Nick, do you know how to do this? Do you know how to make this? And his answer was, I'm Greek. And I was like, that's all you need to say. I was like, we're good. No problem.
There you go.
Like
he always has pounds of feta cheese in his fridge at all times.
I was like, we are completely good then. There's no worries about that. So tell us more about the themed drinks. Like, what type of things are you thinking about? I know we don't have the exact drink menu, but like, what are you doing? Are you doing vodka drinks? You doing, tequila drinks?
We usually like to do for our Eagles tailgates. We would try to have a vodka drink or 2 vodka drinks, a tequila drink, and a whiskey drink. So
okay,
I think we're doing something this year about the oh my gosh, like a Bryce Harper berry punch or something like that. I have a list of them somewhere. Cool. We usually like to do a margarita, and a vodka drink, and sometimes a whiskey drink, just to cater to all the people that were So
you're having like legit bartenders too, right? Like accredited bartenders here. Like this isn't just like me or you like doling out drinks. This is legit like staff on, right?
Yes, I mean, I'll be honest. The staff is people who are close to us, and we're all friends. But we've ran these events in the past, and we've ran these events without the infrastructure of a bus. So once you introduce something like that, it's going to make everything easier, everything more streamlined. It's going to be fantastic, and I really cannot wait.
Cool. So what about will people be able to go on to the bus? People that are going, are they going to be able to go in and look around or sit there? How's that?
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously the bus has a capacity because there's only so much room on something with wheels. So we will have someone standing by the door, allowing people to come up the steps and come down the steps on and off the bus. That way we don't want it overcrowded. People can go in there, witness the insanity, get their drinks, and then they can come off the bus. We have 4 TVs that face the outside, so that way people, if there's like the pregame or anything like that, people can watch from outside. We will also be having we'll have multiple tents. We will have a bar inside the bus, and then we will also have a bar outside of the bus in our tent as well. So people don't have to go up the steps every single time to get their drinks.
Okay. So walk me through this. Someone went on, they bought either the $50 ticket that's all inclusive with drink and food, or the $30 ticket, which is the designated driver or food ticket. They bought those. They're coming to the event. How do they get their bracelets? What's happening there? How are you handling that?
That is, it is very simple. All we ask for the people who are coming is to show us their order confirmation, whether it's in their email or over text message from our website. And then that just tells us how many wristbands you ordered. We put the wristbands on your wrist, and then you can do whatever you please. You can go get beer on the side of the bus with the self-serve keg tap we have, or you can go to the outside LED bar. You can run over to the Primo tent, grab some hoagies. You can go grab some pizza, or you can go on the bus. As far as finding the bus, I mean, we want to have like a no-fly zone flag that will be flying in the air. Also, if it, once the sun comes down on future events, just look for the lights. Like when we were building this bus, we asked our builder to quote, make sure this is seen from space. So there's a lot of lights on the bus. There's inside and outside. So,
Dugan or John, what question do you have for Austin?
Yeah, I think the question that I want to ask, and I'm sure it's something that most people are going to ask, is there a private bathroom on the bus, or is there some sort of bathroom situation associated with the tailgate, or will people just have to use the spotter pots that are around the parking lot?
So in our original build, we did have a bathroom on the bus. We're no longer able to do the bathroom once we realized like all that waste has to go somewhere. So our NFC Championship tailgate, we had little, we'll call them bathrooms. We had pee buckets, and they had to be emptied so many times, and just too much liquid and too much, number 2 would have to go into a tank. There's literally not enough space.
Yeah.
So we will be having anyone who's camped before. We want to have those little shower tents, but have little bathrooms in there instead for number 1. You can't go number 2 in those though.
You hear that, John?
No upper decker, John.
Ah, man.
Oh man, yeah, no.
I'll hop on the Mets bus for that.
We had the last tailgate we did, so we put graphics on the P bucket, and for that 49ers game, I found a picture of Brock Purdy with his mouth open, and it said, "Don't miss my Purdy mouth." Someone put it on TikTok, and it got hundreds of thousands of views. I wish I thought of putting it online.
Yeah, that's awesome. How about you, John? Got any questions for Austin before he has to bail?
Yeah, nothing that pertains. I was just curious myself, and maybe other people are. How do you power such a thing like that when you have a part?
Oh, you just keep it on.
Just keep it on, no generators or anything like that?
No, we were gonna have a generator.
All the things going on.
The bus itself is an 8.3 liter ISB Cummins motor. Look, I don't know what that means other than
I don't either.
Okay,
I was impressed though. I mean, I don't know what it is either.
It sounded good.
Wow, an 8.3. Holy shit.
Yeah, so it revs low and it's not loud. I can make a phone call while standing right by the exhaust fan of the bus while it's on. Wow. It's designed to be quiet because it was a coach bus. So they didn't want people hearing the engine while they are in the cabin.
Gotcha.
So, and then we have the bus has quite a few batteries as a backup in case something does go haywire. So
cool. Austin, I have one last question, and I'm going to ask it on air and see if you're going to allow it. Like, can I get behind the bus and honk the horn and just turn the wheel a little bit? Is that going to be allowed? It's like,
I do not think we will be able to let that go down just for the sake of insurance purposes.
I am so glad you said. I'm just glad you said
that's the right answer.
That's the right answer.
All of our listeners, we're
that is the correct answer.
Yeah, nothing like an open bar and steering wheel. So I'd rather I just put that off.
We're not going to do that since you said it was on. So Austin, thanks for joining us. So it's No Fly Zone, NOPHLY zone.com. There's an events page. Our 3:30 as well as our 5:18 tailgates are on there. So Austin, we'll see you soon. Thanks for joining us, my friend.
Yeah, for sure. If you guys do head over to our Instagram, it is N0PHLY zone. There is a current giveaway where we have some DPF merch and some No Fly Zone merch and 2 free tailgate wristbands that are being given away. Ends in 2 days. So I hope that someone here decides to enter. So thank you for having
over there. Yeah.
What's that?
Thanks. Now 2 days left, so get on there, people.
Yes. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys soon.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yep. See you later, Austin. All right, guys, where are we with the agenda here? You know what I mean? Like, Mike's not here this week. He has other things he has to do, and I'm like, man, I have to do this again, and I forget. So I'm looking at it. Oh, okay. So, we're gonna reveal something right now, right, Chris, John?
Yeah, it seems like it makes sense. It's a good time to do it.
So, I mean, why not? It's we're about 14 minutes in. So for this, I'm gonna take off my shirt. Hopefully everyone doesn't mind this. So, taking off the shirt, coming back on, and we are teaming up with Yards. So, DPF goes Yard. We are going to be pouring DPF Yards Philly Standard at the garage. They're going to be pouring Philly Standard at our tailgates. I am so impressed with Yards. I love supporting local businesses. They love supporting local businesses. Right there, it's a match. Yards is made in Philly, by Philly, for Philly. Perfect match for DPF. So we are incredibly proud to announce that we are teaming up with Yards Brewing. And we really love the Philly Standard. So what they're going to be doing soon is hitting the shelves soon is going to be this 15 pack. So there's going to be the orange for the Flyers. Philly Standard Punch. Dugan and I had this last night. Unbelievably good.
Excellent.
Unbelievably good. Like, this is going to be the drink of the summer for the Phillies and for the garage. Plus, like, look at the can. Amazing. The lime for the Eagles. You know, we got the green for the Eagles. And we also got a hold of, and I'm going to hold this up, but it's going to be the new Philly Standard cans. So when these packs come out, there's going to be, you know, special Philly Standard packs, and it's got Schwarber on the back wearing the Yards uniform. On the front, it says Philly Standard, Kyle Schwarber, Yards Brewing Company. The other part that was so cool about this, like, it says right on the can, right on the label, tailgate beer. Home run. Like, I cannot wait to have people over, be pouring the Philly Standard. Get it where they have it. So if you go on yards.com, they have a beer finder where you'll be able to find where it is local to you, but it's going to be at all your beer distributors. Do not sleep on the punch. I'm telling you, it is delicious.
That was good.
So we're super excited about it.
I think too, Chris. Last night we had a really great conversation with Jason, and I think that this partnership, teammates type situation we've created with Yard. You know, we talked about the possibility of some watch parties down at their tap room. Maybe doing a podcast from down there. So there's a lot of possibilities for DPF and Yards with this new teaming up that we kind of fostered last night. So, but this Philly Standard is such a solid beer. We both enjoyed it last night. We got to sample all the flavors: the lime, the orange, the fruit punch, which was by far probably the best of those three. And I think that's a beer.
See how it was made.
Yeah, got to see how it was made. We got to sample some beers that that they're trying out. So it was a great night and great conversation with Jason. And I think the possibilities are endless for this partnership. So I'm really looking forward to it. Super exciting.
Yep. Support local, support us, support Yards.
When Chris told me it was official, I was geeked out. I was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" And like you just said, Duke, and the possibilities are endless. Like what you could do, like watch parties and stuff like that, little events or whatnot. And on the way home today for the podcast, I went in my beer spot. They didn't have it, so I was sad. But I did get some Yards. I got a Oktoberfest lager, so I did get some kind of Yards, but I was kind of sad.
Went there and bought them all out. That was the only reason.
Yeah, that's the problem. But yeah, I like it. It's good beer.
I got to switch spots up.
Yeah,
because I asked him what this one beer tasted like from Yards, and he's like, "Sorry, buddy, I don't drink." I said, "He's like, sorry, no, I'm sorry, my friend, I don't drink." I said, "No friend of mine would say that. I don't know you anymore." And I walked out with the other one. But this is very good news, and I'm excited. This is awesome.
Cool. Yeah. So thanks for listening there, and please support Yards and specifically Philly Standard. It's a great beer. It's an everyday beer. It's a tailgate beer. We're going to move into our segments now. So earlier in the week, we have a text message that we're kind of going around, and the text message basically is like, what if you were the MLB commissioner? So Manfred, I think, said he's going to be it through 29. If you were appointed commissioner, what are 3 changes that you would make? So we're going to go around the room here and kind of like, what 3 changes? So how I want to do this is I'm just going to say one of my change, and we'll go clockwise to me. We'll go to Chris, and then we'll go to John. So each of you just have to do one at a time. So one of the things that I would absolutely change is that I think that there needs to be some type of realignment. I miss the Phillies playing the Pirates, the Mets, and I don't know if it's the Nationals or Boston comes in or it's, something like that. But I would do some type of realignment. It doesn't make sense that the Marlins and the Braves are in our division. It doesn't make sense that the Braves were ever in the West Division either, because you don't get more East than that. But I would make some type of realignment, whether or not there's new teams added. Realign the divisions. Dugan?
All right. I'm going to go with, I'm not doing them in the order that I would make the changes. So I'm going to say the Ghost Runner. I actually have come to enjoy the Ghost Runner rule as it is, because I think it does provide instant excitement in an extra inning game where there's a runner already on base to start the inning. We don't have those 20 inning games anymore where, you blow out all your pitching because, you had to go so many extra innings. So I like the Ghost Runner, but I would move him back to first base, starting at first base and not second base, so that it gives you kind of the element of he's not already in scoring position. You got to work to get him around the bases a little bit more than the teams do now. So it may add a little bit to an extra inning game, but I don't think it takes away from the excitement that the Ghost Runner has created as soon as you go into the extra innings. So that's my first one.
Johnny?
Mine, I've said this before last season. You could probably see this coming from left field, but the pitch clock. The pitch clock, they say it's to cut time down on the game. I mean, even when you didn't have the clock, MLB games were still shorter than football, still shorter than hockey, basketball. I don't see the sense in it. A lot of people are getting used to it. I'm still not used to it. I don't understand it. And sometimes with the violation, sometimes some people get the wrong violation too, like they weren't supposed, But I would just take that out.
Totally
I never
abolish
liked
it.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, just take it out.
I'm gonna go next again, and I would get rid of the 3 batter minimum. I don't love it. I think that this is something that's been baseball. If they want to have a left-hander come up and the right-handers pitching, and you should be able to bring a left-hander in. I don't think that should be a minimum. Maybe there's something else you can do where you can only have 3 pitchers an inning unless X amount of runs are scored. But I really hate that rule. I want to be able to throw whoever I want to for how long I want to, and not have to be either the end of an inning or a 3 batter. So.
Yeah.
Dugan?
Yeah, I agree with that one, Chris, because I think it takes the short-term strategy out of the game.
Yeah.
You got to have a longer view of it and say, oh, shit, my guy's got to face 3 batters now. So he may have a great matchup against the guy you're bringing him to face first, but then the other 2 guys might have great numbers against him. You should be able to match up. So I agree with that one. I'm gonna go back to John's. I have something about the pitch clock as well. And I actually don't hate the pitch clock. I liked the pace of play that they played at last year. I thought there was a lot of wasted time before the pitch clock came in. Batters stepping out of the box, fixing their gloves, doing all this nonsense. Pitchers walking around the mound, taking 40 seconds between pitches to throw. A lot of wasted, unnecessary time. So mine is more of a modification on the pitch clock, where the pitch clock would only be used when there's no runners on base. So what's the point? You don't really need, there's no pressure on you at that point. There's no pressure on the hitter. There's no pressure on the pitcher. Get the ball, catch the ball, throw the ball, get in the box and hit. Once a runner gets on base, now you can slow the game down a little bit, a little more strategic with throwing over, a little more strategic running trying to steal a base. The batter now can think about, the situation more and where he's trying to hit the ball or whatever, where I felt like the game was rushed a little bit with runners on base last year. Pitchers were rushed, so mine would be to modify, only use the clock when there's nobody on base.
Chris, does this have anything to do with the Phillies, pitchers usually having people on base and we get a few more drinks in?
I will not confirm that, but it definitely helps. It definitely helps the cause. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. All right, John, you're up.
I got one. My next one, it goes right to the commissioner's office. Term limits on the commissioner. My whole life, all these guys have been just sitting there getting reelected, sign an extension. I'm glad Manfred's leaving in 5 years. And he's not going to stay there till he's almost dead, like Bud Selig. have a reasonable. It doesn't have to be like the president, like 4 years. You could do like 5-year terms or something, and you can only serve so many terms, something like that. Like I'm tired of seeing these lifelong, you know what I mean? These lifelong commissioner kind of deal, like so
Yeah.
term limits.
Cool. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. I'm going to go with some type of limited as well. So like this is something I was thinking about. So there's like this kind of unspoken word that like 100 pitches is a lot for a pitcher. And they kind of like once you hit that, unless you're having a no hitter, you're almost guaranteed to be yanked unless it was 10 years ago and your name was Roy Halladay. I'm going to go for a word limit per inning for Ruben Amaro. I know this doesn't help everyone, but I think it's going to help us. And I think it's going to help him. So I know that this is, but maybe it does help Major League Baseball as a whole. There could be other Rubens out there. Ruben knows the game. It's just like sometimes you don't have to talk just to talk. You can just sit there and enjoy the game. So that's my kind of funny last one, but I'm sticking with it. So Chris,
look, Chris, I had him speechless in Pittsburgh when I said, "Hi, good morning, Ruben," to him. He walked by like a nerd on his phone and just kept walking by and didn't say a word. I was surprised.
Probably because you're ripped.
Then I said, "Thanks." Then I said, "Thanks, dickhead."
So maybe somebody has to yell in the booth at him then between every pitch.
Yeah.
Hey, Ruben, how you doing? He'll shut
Hey,
the hell
Ruben.
up, Yeah. Yeah. All right. So my last one's kind of a funny one that I like, kind of from my softball days. I want to institute the courtesy runner, and simply because you can designate one player in your lineup that you're going to run for whenever he gets on base. It could be somebody from the bench. It could be the last batted out. However, we can work it out however you want. Because in reality, who the hell wants to watch Kyle Schwarber run the bases? If we had a courtesy runner, I wouldn't give a shit if Kyle Schwarber batted leadoff. I wouldn't give a shit. Bat him leadoff. Get him on, get him off. Get him on, get him off. Put a speedster on, and we're all good. So courtesy runner for the fat slow guys would be my third rule.
And maybe they have some type of contest where, Kyle hits a bomb, but, he's coming out and he gives the old hat nod to Dugan. And he's like, Dugan, run the bases for me.
Run the bases.
There
you go.
Everyone can do it. Like that would be really cool. I didn't hit a home run, but I touched them all.
There you
All
go.
right. John, finish this up for us.
Some people might not like this, but I'm actually, I want to take out a rule that's been in place for a while. I'd like to abolish the Buster Posey rule. Let catchers get hit again. If you don't want to get hit, get the hell out of the way. Like, just because one guy got messed up, it was one guy out of, like a couple guys have gotten seriously hurt, like Pete Rose ran over a dude in the All-Star game, Buster Posey. But I mean, if you can't take it, just get out of the way or hold on to the ball. Like, I would like to see that rule get out of the way. I miss collisions at the plate.
So I saw Papa John chimed in and already said something, and I just have this weird feeling. And John, I want you to tell me if it's true. Does he call it the Buster P word rule?
No.
No, all right, because
so.
I definitely would thought of because I'm like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Guys, that was really cool. Like those were really, some fun ones, some interesting ones, and some silly ones. So we're going to move over to Dugan, who is going to talk about the new dude, Whit Merrifield. So take it away.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed kind of looking into Merrifield and his career, preparing for this. And so I know we're all real happy about the fact that Dombrowski finally did something, and he brought in a guy that we've actually talked about, several times on the podcast here. So just give a quick little background on Merrifield and what I kind of expect the Phillies to do with him. He's a 8-year veteran, played with the Royals and the Blue Jays, 3-time All-Star in 2019, 2021, and 2023. Career 284 hitter with 90 home runs, 201 stolen bases. And the one thing I wanted to really look at and I really like is he only had a 17% K rate for his career, which means he's a guy that puts the ball in play, makes contact. He's not necessarily a big power guy. He has led the league in doubles a couple times, so he's more of a singles, doubles type hitter. But he's a guy that makes contact, puts the ball in play.
Chris, what is the league average on strikeout rate, like the K percentage?
I know it's in the 20s. It's in the 20s, and some of the Phillies are in the upper 20s.
Yeah,
Nick's
Nick's
maybe
in the
even pushing
30s, I think.
in the 30s. Schwarber and Nick.
Yeah.
So to have a contact guy like that is really exciting. And one of the things, like I know I've seen some positive things about Merrifield. I've seen people say negative things, but I took a look last year. The Phillies had 657 at bats go to Cody Clemens, Jake Cave, Josh Harrison, Christian Pache, Derek Hall, Rodolfo Castro, Drew Ellis, Dalton Guthrie, and Weston Wilson. I'd like to see 400 of those bats go to Whit Merrifield. I mean,
Yep.
you're getting a guy who's an all-star.
I love the point.
Yeah, I mean, like why? I mean, 657 at bats. I mean, that's a lot. That's a season's worth of at bats out of those guys. And I don't think
getting some at bats in that, right? Like you didn't count him. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. I mean, so and then I looked at like from a defensive standpoint, Merrifield's he's primarily been a second baseman most of his career. Most of his games played are at second base. He 718 career games there, but he does have 388 games in the outfield, and another 15 as a first baseman and 6 as a third baseman. So I really think his role with the Phillies is going to kind of be a platoon guy for both Stott at second base and probably Marsh in left field. And I think he's a guy that's probably going to start 2, maybe 3 times a week. And I think we're going to see him get 400 at bats. I think he's going to be kind of that Placido Polanco type guy when he first came, where he bounced between second base, third base. He didn't have a position, but he played every day almost. He was always out there. And
Chris,
I think
that play left fields. If this Pache Rojas thing doesn't work out, can this dude play left field every day?
I think he can play left field. Yeah. And I also think he might be like, he's kind of that stopgap guy. If Rojas doesn't pan out, you slide Marsh back over to center and Merrifield becomes the everyday left fielder. So I was happy to see that he played, almost 400 games in the outfield. So that was a good sign. But this guy, I mean, his one of his biggest assets is speed. And even last year at 34 years old, he stole 26 bases. So that's something I think the Phillies have been lacking is speed in general. I mean, you got Turner, you got Stott, and now you have Merrifield, coming off the bench with some speed. So he could be a late inning runner for Schwarber. He, if he's not already in the game. So there are, I think he brings a well-rounded skill set to the Phillies. I'm not expecting him to go out and bang 20 home runs. He's probably more of a 10 to 15 home run guy, but he automatically becomes the best guy the Phillies have had on their bench probably in the last 4 or 5 years. But I think he's going to get enough at bats to be almost considered like a regular, like a regular player. I think we'll see him get like 400 at bats this year.
Who isn't going to be on the bench because they brought Whit on? Who's gone?
I'm gonna touch that one later. That's my second topic.
Okay.
So when we get back to that,
right.
I'm gonna give you my opinion on that
all right
later. But yeah, it definitely affects. It does have a trickle down effect on the way the bench shakes out for the season. But
yeah,
Dugan, how many I got them penciled in. I got them penciled in about starting about 90 games. How many games do you think I'll be in?
That's kind of where I thought between.
I'm like in the 90 range.
Games. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Two, maybe 2-3 games a week, depending on if we're seeing lefties. He might get a little more that week. If tough righties, maybe he gets a start. I don't think we're really going to see him play short, third, and first. I think it's going to primarily be second, left, center, maybe. More primarily to left and second, I think are going to be the 2 spots. And I mean, think about it. I mean, Josh Harrison last year got 103 at bats. So if the Phillies are going to take Stott out of the lineup, would you rather have Josh Harrison or would you rather have Whit Merrifield? I think it's obvious and it's an easy
that answers itself.
Yeah, it's an upgrade. I mean, Rodolfo Castro. Anybody want him to take those at bats? So, I mean, I think it's a win-win. I think the guy is, he's 35. He's not a kid. And I think that's why he was more willing to accept more of a bench part-time role to come to a really good team and hopefully contribute enough to put us over the top. But I like this signing. I really like it. He's a guy we talked about and kind of had a target on. So I'm hoping for big things out of him this year.
I mean, I think, if Scotty Slapnuts ever worked out, there would be no Whit Merrifield, right? Because that's the type of dude he is. That is who he is, probably, right? Sneaky power, good defense, but
speed,
Yeah.
Witty jetpacks.
Yeah. Cool. No, that was awesome. I can't wait to hear what you think of the bench. John, you're going to talk about Citizens Bank Park best and worst food. So take it away. I didn't eat dinner, so don't talk about good too much, man.
We touched on this before. Well, we touched on this year's sorry, I'm dropping my notes here. We touched on maybe a few episodes ago. This year's the 20th anniversary of Citizens Bank Park. Time flies because I remember being there for the very first game and the exhibition game. But I figured it'd be neat, during the season, here and there, sprinkle in some moments and certain things about the park. And this week, I'm just gonna go the best and the worst food I've ever had at the bank. So the worst one is the accidental veggie burger. The reason it was accidental is because I had a few and I wasn't paying attention to what black bean meant. I was just like, oh, that looks good. And it looked a little burnt around the edges. I follow my dad's footsteps sometimes. I like some of my stuff very well done. And it looked a little charred. And I'm like, that looks good. And I go to get it. And I'm like, what's this? I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, no, that's the veggie burger. And after I already took a bite of it, I was like, well, can you figure? And I had a few, like I said. So I was trying to do the math and figure out how much I could get back, besides that bite, if I could get a refund for what I didn't eat. She was laughing. I was kind of serious, but then I played it off as a joke.
Well, I was only kidding too.
Yeah, that's pretty much the worst thing I've had. And their one burger, I forget what stand. I had a regular cheeseburger that wasn't that great either. I think in the Hall of Fame Club. But that's the worst food I've had. And the best, and I'm telling you, this is heaven. If you haven't had it, you got to go out to Bill's Barbecue and get the burnt ends cheesesteak. Oh, my God. The brisket burnt ends, the Gouda cheese, the caramelized onions, as Tim Taylor said. It's like anytime I'm passing by Bull's Barbecue, I'm like, all right, what am I getting? Because it's like Tom and Jerry with the little scent clouds. It just reels you in. Am I getting brisket? Am I getting pulled pork? But the burnt ends cheesesteak is unbelievable if you're ever out there. What's the best and worst food you've had there, guys?
So my favorite is the Schmitter. You can still get it at the place in Chestnut Hill that's escaping me now. But man, I love
McNally's
Schmitter. McNally's. I love the Schmitter. I've definitely, and the good news about the Schmitter is, and this was I grew up, I went to used to go to Union Jacks a lot when I was living in Glenside, and they have great wings. So McNally's has the Schmitter. You go in there, you can call in and order it. And while they're making it, you just can have, 1 to 6 beers. And when they're done, they're done. You can still bring it home. But you always, here's the key, always pick it up. Even if they offer delivery, do not DoorDash it. Go there, you drink a couple beers while you're waiting. Even if it is ready, just tell them to put it on top of the oven and it'll stay good. The worst, to me, it's always the dollar dogs. I don't know. Hot dogs aren't that much. Why are we fucking them up? Why are we fucking them up that bad? Seriously, I love hot dogs and they're fucking them up all the time. So that's my best and worst.
Funny thing about the dogs, real quick, the funny thing about the dogs, Chris, is back when they first started Dollar Dog Day, back at the bank, even when they weren't doing it, me and my friend were such cheapsteaks. We would go up to the second level. And there's one booth that sells kids fanatic dogs, and they're always $1. So even when it wasn't Dollar Dog Night, I'm like, oh yeah, I got 2. Hold on, Jeffrey. Act like I got kids. And we would take turns. It's like, oh yeah, these kids are hungry. These little fuckers.
That's what I used to do. That's great stuff, man. I used to sneak in like a diaper bag filled with baby bottles with White Russians in them. You know, I just like, oh, you left it in the car, and like I got to bring it in. I didn't have a fucking baby with me, but I, you know, like wow, like yeah, I got twins. There's 16 bottles in here. Could go extra innings. You know,
You never know.
That baby was rocked.
Yeah. Dugan, what's yours?
Yeah, I've had some bad hot dogs there. So you struck a nerve with the hot dog.
Yeah.
I'm a cheesesteak guy, so I always like the Tony Luke's or the Campos cheesesteaks. That's usually my go-to.
Yeah.
But this burnt ends you're talking about, I've never had one from Bulls. So
Oh, so good.
I think that's going to be a stop that I definitely make this year. And grab one of those. But yeah, I'm usually a cheesesteak guy, soft pretzel guy when I go down to the game, and you know, the things that pair well with a beer, you know. So
Yeah.
But those hot
Beer
dogs
pairs well with beer though too.
yeah,
You know?
that's too.
Yeah.
I've done that myself. You know, carry the beer in both hands. You know. So, yeah. I mean, they got some great choices down there. I know they opened up that like boardwalk section down there with all that different food down the left field line there. So. They got some good stuff.
That's where I got
Really
the black
good
bean.
Yeah, I got to be on the lookout for that there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. There's a for people that don't know, there's a life hack. There's a difference between the Italian sausage on the lower level and in the Hall of Fame Club. On the lower level, you get like this small, scrimpy kind of roll, and it's like in the Hall of Fame Club, you actually get like a long, like official roll. So.
One's $5, the other one's 25.
Yeah, but the roll tastes better.
Yeah,
I got one on the hot. I got one down on the lower level with on the first level concourse with a hot dog bun before. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
When you were talking about that black bean thing, I remember like I was going to a Chinese restaurant or some type of restaurant, and I saw like, and I can't remember the name of it, so maybe someone in the comments. It was like souvlaki sandwich, and I was like, oh, that sounds good. It was like fake cheesesteak, but I didn't know it. So like it came out, and I was like, what the fuck is this soy bullshit? And like eating it, and then like they're like, oh well, it's the vegan, you know, offering, and I was like, oh man, what the fuck, goddamn vegan bullshit. Just not my thing. I need the meat and the iron. All right, we're gonna go to some comments. So I was looking at the comments, like the more recent ones, and I was like, man, there's like 10 comments and there's no fuck the Mets. But I'm going to say that Steve came up big, and I went to the top, and Steve Mold's like, it's National Margarita Day, and fuck the Mets. So way to get it in there, starting it off right. It is Margarita night. They're not my thing, but like if they're a thing, I'll do that thing. My wife likes the spicy margarita, so fuck the Mets and have a margarita today. Sup? What's up, my man? How you doing? Greg, when are you boys headed to spring training? So I'm going March 14th through the 20th. If you're down there, hit us up. We're going to be somewhere serving beer. I'm going to be there, or rum runners. Brian, what's up? Looking good, boys. How are you doing, man? Thanks for coming on today and listening. I appreciate that. Brian's from Battle Brothers. He was on last week. So great episode. I mean, 2 weeks ago, if you missed it. Awesome. True American hero.
Yeah, get our salute to service shirt so we can donate a nice chunk of money to the Battle Brothers. That'd be
great point, Dugan. Yep.
Yep.
Put a Met sticker on a tree. All the guys will know what to do. So I think this is in reference to the tailgate. Like, yeah, that makes sense. You'd have to buy a Met sticker or like touch that. I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of weird with that. I don't know if I want to do that. Papa John, ready for the tailgate? Let's go.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, Papa John. Love that. Thanks for tuning in, man. So same day as the Union game. So Dave, I know. So my 3:30 Phil's tickets, my Union tickets, I'm gonna sell or switch off. But there's a Union game that day, and I'm a Union season ticket holder. But the Phils hold just a higher place of love in my heart, so I chose the Phils on that one. Alex, that's amazing. I'm assuming she's talking about our yards teaming up. So appreciate that support. Love Alex. Jennifer, love it. I think this is yards again.
Yeah.
Karen, great about the yards.
That's Mama John.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
No
my mom.
way. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How you doing, Mama John?
Mama John.
Appreciate you tuning in. We try to like big brother your son. He's a tough little brother, but we like try to lead him down the straight and narrow. I know you did your best, and we're doing our best too.
Keep him out of Boston. Just keep him out of Boston.
Yeah. Mom, don't watch the New Year's Eve episode.
Nancy hates the ghost runner, but won on first base, so she's Team Dugan. I love that idea too. That was awesome. Dave wants cheaper crab fries. I think this is fair. I think this is fair.
What are they, 15 now?
Probably.
Yeah, $3 a cheese cup or some shit.
Yep.
I should
Nancy
know that.
wants...
My daughters get it every time. Every time. Down
Well, yeah, I guess you get divided by 4 or 5, Chris, whatever you got to do. I don't know if you
Trust me, there's more than one bucket coming back when they come back.
I'm always like, nah, I don't want one, because I'm like, I don't know. Like, even at the Union, they sell them and it's like $20. And then at the end, I'm like, just eating the cold ones and dipping in cold cheese. And I'm like, so I was like, we're not wasting this. No way we're wasting it. Nancy, yes to Pittsburgh. Daughter lives there, so we'd try to go out when they play the Phils, but it's only once a year. I think the Phillies Pirates is one of the most storied 70s, rivalries. And I'd really like to bring that back.
Yeah, I missed that from the 80s too.
Yeah, home run contest.
Bonds. Well, that's when I actually liked Bonds, Bonilla, Vance. I like Vance Light. That was my guy.
Yeah, I liked him too. Home run contest, which is like, a shootout for tie games. I know you're being funny, and it's like, I absolutely hate the stupid shootouts in soccer and hockey.
Oh, I hate it.
Doug, 100% agree on the Posey rule. So that is
my man, Doug.
Yo, John, like your pop said, it is the P word rule. I knew it. Papa John, you are my man. We're like this, man. I knew that. That's great stuff. And then Steve Moe comes in. Fuck you, Buster. Catchers know they're signing up for with the position. Yeah, I mean, we know it's not going to happen. In NFL now, it's like there's like this bubble around the quarterback. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the video? I think it was the Angels catcher the other day. They had like a remote control stuffed pig coming up the line as he was making a tag, and someone was making the pig run, and he was trying to like block the plate and tag this little like stuffed pig.
Oh my god!
I think it was the Angels. It was a funny video. Like he's like slamming on it as he's tagging it, and swipe tagging it as it's going by.
Funny.
Yeah, it was like a remote controlled pig or something they were using.
So will Crook go up in the arch this year? Man,
no way in hell.
I think Crutch,
no way.
He's not going to do it. He's just going to be like,
I don't see it happening.
Closed again, or just not happening. So that's funny. And once they go to St. Louis, we'll see. Wow, this is I don't know who this is, but I know that it has to be like a family member, or maybe it's you logged in, John. But it's Derek.
Derek, that's my buddy. I used to work with him at Sears back in the day.
He says he's John Kruk's #1 fan, and I was like,
"That's the man.
That's cool stuff."
Derek's he's coming to the tailgate on 5 and in the May 18th.
Awesome,
nice.
Appreciate that. Nancy again. Dugan 90 games. Sounds about right, unless someone gets hurt. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Other Nancy. So nice listening to baseball talk. Knowing the first spring training game is Sunday. I know that you're on the page a lot. We're talking baseball 24/7, 365. There's no off season for us, unfortunately, for, our probably fatherly duties, work duties, just, showering. I'd probably, did I say that out loud?
I wish you would have kept it quiet.
Donna. Donna always gives me problems when like I take a picture of the garage fridge and there's not enough twisted tea. So I think like she's team Renee. And you know, Renee needs more people on her team probably when she has to deal with me. So appreciate that. Greg, your dad burns everything. Is that, do you know Greg?
Yeah,
John?
he's on my stepmom's side. Yeah, he knows my dad. Yes, he does.
Damn, I'm late signing up kids for T-ball and there was no internet in the damn building. So FTM and cheers. Scott, that's awesome. Appreciate that, man.
Scott, you're the man.
Vegan places dictate best place to buy beer. No line ever. Oh, there you go. That's a good tip. These vegan places at CBP apparently sell beer as well because beer's vegan. So just get in those lines and you'll get the beer quicker. Good stuff, Alex. That's what we're looking for.
Just don't get so drunk that you get a black bean burger.
Don't do that.
And don't try to get your money back after one bite. Memories.
Zig wants the rule to be whatever you wear at bat, you wear it running the bases. No more taking off all the body armor and putting on oven mitts. You know, we'll speed up the game tenfold. I mean, it's not wrong.
Yeah.
He's like, and I feel bad for the first base coach. He needs like a fucking duffel bag down there. You know, like
now they got designs on this shit. Like the oven mitts for stealing. Like Bryce Harper's got ice cream cones. Come on, dude. Like
the poor bat boy's getting shit thrown at him the whole way down the line. You guys just chucking shit at him.
Yep, absolutely. So before we go on to the next segment,
man.
If you're from Boston, no showers are required. Ask about John's girlfriend. I didn't think John had a girlfriend, but I think John travels a little bit, right? And he's like, I got a Pittsburgh John, I got a Boston John. He just needs his Philly John. So, you know, all right,
it's all a myth, people. It's all a myth, people. If you want to go back, you'll hear the real story on New Year's Eve episode.
Oh my God! All right, so Chris, we're gonna have you talk about the bench.
Okay, all right. So I mean, obviously, we touched on it a little bit earlier. Merrifield coming on is definitely going to shift the bench and the bench roles and who's going to be on the bench. So I kind of went back and I wanted to take a look at like how important is the bench? Like how often do the Phillies really use the bench as pinch hitters or guys coming off the bench late in games? And I was kind of surprised and shocked. The Phillies were one of the lowest teams in MLB for number of pinch hitters last year. The Phillies only had 79 pinch hit at bats last year for the whole season. And they weren't very good at it either. They were 18 for 79, a 228 average with only 12 RBIs.
Chris, who had the most, like with 79, like just to give us an idea, like where was it?
Yep. So
you're getting there?
I'm getting there. Josh Harrison with 12 pinch hit at bats. It was Harrison with 12. Cody Clemens had 8. Pache, March, and Cave all with 7. And then Sosa and Stott had 6. Everybody else was 4 or less. So again, none of them did a great job. Marsh was probably the best pinch hitter we had when he came in. Only had 7 at bats, but he was 3 for 7. So 429 batting average. Harrison was only 167. Cody Clemens 125. Pache was 143. Stott was 2 for 6. So he was a 333 hitter off the bench. So when you look at this, you go, you know, you really don't. The bench might not really be that all that important. Like the way the game's played now with the DH, the pitchers aren't batting. You're not really using pinch hitters to pinch hit for pitchers or matchups. Most of your starters, you know, hit righty or lefty pitching. So you don't really make that many changes. But I mean, obviously, right off the bat, you got 2 guys that are going to be, you know, automatically on the bench. Your backup catcher, so Garrett Stubbs, and I think Sosa is your number 2 guy that's definitely going to be on that bench, along with Merrifield, obviously. Sosa, I think, because I don't think Merrifield can play shortstop. and he hasn't had much experience playing third. So I think Sosa is your second and your shortstop and third baseman kind of defensive replacement or backup guy, where Merrifield will be second base and outfield. So it really comes down to, I think there's going to be one spot that's really up for grabs on the bench. And I think it comes down to, this is assuming Rojas, wins the job and is the everyday center fielder, which I think everybody hopes, everybody expects. It would make the team better defensively if he is the center fielder. So I expect him to be the center fielder when the season starts. So it really comes down to Pache and Cave as the last two guys, fighting for that one bench spot. I think Pache and Rojas are kind of the same guy. So I don't really see why you need two of that guy. Not that I'm a Jake Cave fan, but I do think what Cave brings is he does have the experience of playing first base. So if Harper needed a blow, he could come in and play first base. And he would be, Stubbs, you're not going to pitch hit with your backup catcher. So Cave would be that left-handed pinch hitter that you have on the bench, along with, probably three other right-handed bats, or two other right-handed bats, with Merrifield and Sosa as your two righties, Cave and Stubbs as lefties. So I kind of think Cave is going to win out on that job, and maybe Pache might be a guy that the Phillies try to move later in spring training. Now, this all gets changed if Rojas doesn't hit in spring training and they don't think he's going to come out of the gate swinging the bat well, and they pivot. That may keep Pache on the team if they send Rojas down to AAA to get a little more seasoning and a little more experience, and then move Marsh over to center, with Merrifield being the starter and left when the season starts. So a lot hinges on the Rojas, but I anticipate him being the center fielder. And I think Jake Cave, just by pure ability to play first base and being a left-handed hitter, gives him the edge over Pache, who's kind of a redundant offensive and defensive player as Rojas.
Chris, are they done? Are the Phillies not going to get Bellinger?
I don't see Bellinger.
He's a replacement of Cave, right? Can play the outfield and can play first. Is this going to happen? Is this possible, or is this dude an everyday player and he's going to want money?
Yeah, I think he's an everyday player, and I think he wants money. And I don't think the Phillies are going to put. I think if the Phillies spend any more money, it's going to be on a starting pitcher. Yep. I still think they're keeping an eye on Montgomery. I think that they might strike on Montgomery if he's still out there in another couple of weeks. Maybe a short-term deal, 2-year with an option or something like that. And I haven't closed the door on that trade with Cleveland for Jose, the closer.
Okay.
I think that's still a possibility. It might not be a front burner possibility right now, but I think it might be something they revisit and make that happen. But as it stands right now, I think Jake Cave's the guy who gets that last bench spot.
Okay. John, predictions?
Yeah. So I just threw up together some predictions for this year for regular season, pretty much. I didn't want to do the whole lineup because we know what we're going to get out of certain guys. Just some of my favorite things. Alec Boehm hit 20 home runs last year, 97 RBIs, 276 average. I pinned my tweet on Twitter in spring training and predicted 25 homers and 90 RBIs. I hit the RBI mark, but I was 5 homers short. I think he hits that 5 homers this year. I think he hits 25 home runs because every year he's gotten better, and every year he hits a little better. I think this year my prediction for him is 25 home runs and at least 100 RBI because he got 97 last year. There's no reason he can't hit 100. And he hit 276 last year. I say he hovers around the same or maybe even 280 highest. But that's good. That's all I want from him. That's all I want from him in that position.
I think Turner's struggles early in the season may have cost him 100 RBIs too, because Turner wasn't getting on base at all. If he's on base, Boehm might have he gets those 3 RBIs probably pretty easy. Yeah.
And I'm gonna go. This is a bolder take. I guess this is like I'm hoping this happen. His defense has gotten better every year, and he works extra hard on it in the offseason and his batting as well. But I mean, his bat won't be a problem. It's his defense gets better every year. Arenado's on the downslope, and Key Brian Hayes won the Gold Glove last year. I think Bohm's in the runner up for the Gold Glove this year. If he don't win it, I think it's the young guy's game this time. I think him and Key Brian Hayes are like right there. Like Key Brian don't have the bat, but I mean it's glove. You know what I mean? It's for your glove. So I think I would love Bohm to win it, but I mean Key Brian Hayes is a pretty damn good third baseman. So I mean, but I think he could be runner up. I give him runner up for the Gold Glove. That's my bold take on that. But I mean, as far as more realistic, 25 homers, 100 RBIs. I'm saying
his defense has improved more than any player I can ever remember in such a short period of time. Like he was such a liability, 2 years ago, and last year I had complete confidence when the ball was hit to him that he was making the play. Yeah, he was. Really incredible turnaround. Incredible.
Now I shit my pants when it was hit to Turner.
Yeah.
Because of the throw. Like I shit my pants every time.
And even after I've been covering like in the off season, I've been covering winter ball and all that shit. That's usually for the minor leaguers and all. Bohm actually played winter ball after his first and second year in the majors. He's like, no, I'm going to go get extra work. So he played all year round, 2 years in a row.
That's
and
cool.
then like he's always doing work, getting to camp early, putting in that extra work, taking grounders and shit. So, and it'd be cool if he won because we haven't had a Gold Glove and winning first baseman since Placido Polanco in 2011. So it'd be cool. But that's my prediction for him. Bryce Harper, I expect him to be in the running for the MVP this year. Granted, he stays healthy. His last full-ish season was 2021. He had 35 homers and 84 RBIs. I think he hits over 40 home runs and over 100 RBIs this year, and he's in the running for the MVP. I think he's in that group. I don't know who else will be with him. We'll have to see, but I think he's in the running. Like he's in that top 5 to maybe top 3. Like when it gets down to the nitty-gritty of it, I see him having a real good year. And we're going to see a lot better defense at first than Rhys Hoskins. So I thank God for that. And I wholeheartedly believe he's going to put all his heart and soul into, being the best that he can be in over there. Another guy we were just talking about, I'm going to just say this. I haven't seen a spring game yet, whatever. I know he has to, it's his spot to earn or lose, whatever. I believe Johan Rojas will be your starting center fielder coming out of camp. I think Pasha, you'll be your fourth outfielder. I think Cave's out. I mean, I think I want, as long as what's his name, Cody Clevens bats left as well. He could play the outfield. He could play first base too and spell Harper when they need to. It's not just because I don't like Cave. I don't believe him at all. Like, I don't know why he's here, but that's just my opinion. But I also understand Dugan's argument too. But
yeah, I think Pache is like out of options, and we don't care if Cave has any. Too. Like that's part of
that's what I'm saying. Like keep Pache as the fourth outfielder. Like keep him here.
Yeah. Yep.
I think Pache's more attractive in a trade than Cave too. So if you got to move one, you might be able to get a little something back for Pache.
Yeah, because he has a little bit more.
Trade him as like AAA, Chris. Like if Cave does make it because he's lefty, do we want Pache at AAA or happen to go through waivers?
He would have to make the team. He would have to go through waivers before you could trade him.
Yeah. That's the tough part.
Which he probably won't. He probably wouldn't make it through.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. I dropped my microphone here. But yeah, Rojas, and I get what people like when we've talked about it in the off season here, and about Rojas and all, how he struggled in the playoffs and all. But at least when we talk about it, we talk, even if we agree or disagree, we talk about it in an intelligent manner. I've seen some crazy shit online about Rojas, just people shitting on the kid. It's like, look, like the kid played 59 games. He had 2 homers and 23 RBIs. He had some decent pop, 302 average, 14 stolen bases in a short, little span. He did pretty good, and 986 fielding percentage. He was outstanding in the field.
Here's my
Defender.
take on him is if he can hit 240. I mean, he's the 9 hitter. You don't need him to hit 280. And you don't need him to hit 20 home runs. If he can hit 240, get on base, steal bases, and play a plus defense, he's worth his weight in gold. But if he's only going to hit 190 and never get on base, that kind of offsets how good his defense is. He's got to hit 240.
I just saw a stat that had the defensive run save, which is one of those crazy analytic ones, but I'm going to bring it up, of like the Phillies of the last 30 years. Johan Rojas is already 4th on the fucking list with 15 runs saved. Like the dude played like a portion of a year, saved 15 runs, and he's 4th on the list in the last, whatever it was, I think it was 20 years.
His defense is incredible. Wow. Incredible. He's got to contribute a little. He's got to contribute with the bat, though. He's got to. I think he doesn't need to be a world beater. But
I think his bat is going to be there, though. He's not going to, like you said, he's not going to be a home run hitter. He might get one here or there, but I'm expecting no higher than maybe 8. Not even like who cares? I don't even care, but you know what I mean. He's going to be single digits home runs if he even gets to 10. Who knows? But I mean, I'm not even expecting that. I want average. I want a decent average, like Dugan said. Stolen bases. Driving runs in when he can, but I think he's going to be your starting center fielder come open a day. Last not least, Zach Wheeler. I expect him to have a really good year, and for some reason, not just because I'm a homer or whatever, this guy was just in a running for Cy Young not too long ago. What was that, like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, or whatever? If he stays healthy, he doesn't get too tired or gassed out, I see him having 14 or 15 wins and being in the running for the Cy. That's all I got on that. And one more honorable mention, and everybody make sure lightning don't strike and you're sitting down, because I can't believe these words are going to come out of my mouth, but honorable mention.
Orion Kirkering, Cy Young.
No, I expect Aaron Nola to have a good year and actually help us make a playoff push. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's an even number year. You know how on odd years he sucks and all that. Even number year.
And he got shit on by a bird today, so that's
good luck.
People say that's good luck.
Yeah.
So I'm more hoping than fully behind that statement, but I mean he's on the team for 7 more years. I got to root for him. I mean, of course, I'm going to shit on him like that bird when he gives up meatballs, but hey. But that's
Sunday, boys.
But that's some of my predictions.
Cool. No, that was good stuff. All right, I have one thing up last, and I had this like queued up from before, but it just didn't pan out. But we're just starting spring training, so I'm going to rank the spring training NL East hats only, and I'm going to use a visual here, but I'm also going to do my best about, trying to describe them. So I have them up on the screen, and it's like all of the teams. And again, I'm just going to talk about the NL East. And here's how I graded them. So number 1 was like originality. Is it any different than like their current logo at all? Number 2, and this is personal, I hate hats that have 2 colors. Like the Bills one color and the top hats one color. So that was, the negative 2. Like that was the criteria that I kind of used, and you'll explain. So, I mean, there's going to be no doubt. I put in the Mets in last. I just fucking hate orange and blue together. It's not original. It's a 2-color hat. The bill is, blue. The top part is orange, and the NY crossed on the front is in blue. It's terrible. I hate that one. The next one I'm going to go to is, and this was really tough to do because all 3 of these have the same freaking problem. The Marlins, like it's, a black bill with that teal color. The little button on the top is black. It has the M with kind of the marlin coming over. Like, it's not terrible. Teal is cool if it's like 92. I think there's a picture floating around with like me with this hat on, or basically this hat, but it was, the F when they were called the Florida Marlins. I just don't like it. Third from last is going to be Atlanta. Again, not inventive. It's just the regular A. They're doing two colors. So the A is in navy blue outlined in white. The top of the cap is red with a navy blue button, and the bill is navy blue. Hate it.
Wasn't that their road hat a few years ago? Didn't they wear that hat on the road?
I think
Similar,
so. Something like that.
Similar. Yeah,
It was
very
similar, if
similar to
not
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate Washington's hat, but I hate the other hats more. And the reason why I hate Washington's hat is it's fucking spring training. They're in goddamn Arizona, I think. It's 120 degrees. And what do these fucking brainiacs do? A fucking black hat. What is wrong with you? Like, I cannot fucking understand that. Black absorbs the heat. It's like super hot. I thought it would be lighter. They could have went with a bunch of other colors. To me, it looks black, but I'm colorblind with navy and black. It looks black to me. It has a W that's outlined in red or cherry blossom pink. I'm not sure. That's it. Number one, and this isn't a homer call, I don't like the Phillies hat, but out of these ones, it's number one. I think the Liberty Bell is kind of tired, but it is different, right? It's all one color, which, I like. I don't like when they're two different colors. I don't love the Liberty Bell. So the Phillies hat is just a red hat. The Liberty Bell is in their blue color and it's outlined in white. That's kind of it. I just think there was something different or cooler they could have done, or just stay with the P. And I don't know, put freaking palm trees like we did on our DPF shirts, like sprouting out behind the P. Like, I don't know, something. I just don't love them. What do you guys think? Is there anyone that you think I got wrong? Is there anyone you like that should be number one?
You know what's crazy? What's crazy, Chris? That one with the Liberty Bell, that's the alternate one. The first one, I like the alternate one better than the other one. The other one, did you see the other one they had for spring training? They got the other one with the old 90s, the field logo. That little diamond with the Phillies in it.
Yeah.
I hated it in the 90s and I hate it now. I used to hate when they had it in the on the on deck circle. I just never liked that logo. And the New Era store put up on something on Instagram, and I said, no, not the 90s logo. I was like, you got to have something else. And they actually clicked like and agreed with me. They're like, we agree. I'm like, but you're the store that sells them. How are you going to make money? You can't agree with me.
God.
But from what I hear, that bell is the alternate. But I mean, I like the bell over that. But yeah, I get your point. It's just plain and mundane. Enough with the bell already. Do something.
One of my favorite hats, one of my favorite Phillies hats I ever had, similar to this hat. It had the Liberty Bell, but it had a white P inside the Liberty Bell.
Oh, I never saw that.
Okay.
Yeah, I had it years ago, and I absolutely love that hat. I've never been able to find it again. I don't know where the hell I got it from. I wore it so much, I just basically beat the hell out of it, and I had to get rid of it. But yeah, it had a little white P in the center of the Liberty Bell. It was the coolest hat I ever owned. I loved it.
I'd be in on that.
Yeah, I love that hat.
Yeah, I don't mind Washington's, but like you said, the heat. The whole heat factor.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as it's one color and it's it's not that bad as Atlanta's and Miami.
The W though, W is not even the same W that they use in their logo.
Yeah. That's true.
It looks like Washington. It's like Washington University or something like that. University of Washington.
It's almost like the W that the Cubs put up when they win, like the little flag.
Yeah, or West Virginia or something. I don't know.
But that Mets is atrocious. That Mets is horrible.
I always like the Tigers with the tiger face logo. That takes me back to when I was a kid because I played for a team, the Tigers, and that's what we had. Our hats had that tiger logo on it.
Who'd you play for?
I only midget Tea League Tigers, man.
I thought you were gonna say I played for the Port Richmond Tigers.
Yeah, I was only midget Tea League.
But yeah, like I like that Rockies one. Rockies one's all right.
Closing
Takes
it
it back
out,
to
I'm
the
just
CR.
gonna like do 2 picks of my
Yeah.
own. Like my favorite one is I'll do my least favorite first. The Minnesota Twins is absolute fucking trash. It's the worst fucking hat in Major League Baseball, and it's not close. And that's how much how much I hate the Mets. It's this red hat with a navy blue brim, and it's just like these 2 flags that like I could have drawn, and I suck at drawing, and one has M and the other one has S for Minneapolis and St. Paul, the Twin Cities. Fucking terrible. I love baby blue. The Texas Ranger hat is absolutely the fucking best in spring training to me. It's just solid, clean. I like ones with just one letter on it. Super cool. So, all right, we're gonna get rid of this, and I'm gonna wrap it up. See if there's any comments that I want to kind of bring on. Let me stop sharing that screen. So let's see. I can't not put up a FTM. So thank you.
Harry.
Jennifer, the Astro hat sucked. 2 shades of orange. Yeah, that also looked like 2 shades of orange. I mean, just do better. Love 2-color hats. You love cowboy hats, Scott. Come on. Like, you're not going to wear, the top of your cowboy hat is one color and the brim is another. Like, let's be honest. Like, you love 1-color hats. You're on Team Chris. The Tigers hat. So John loves that one as well. He thinks it's super cool. I definitely agree. And we're going to close it out with Steve. He's going to be rocking his DPF spring training shirt at Blue Jays Park. 3-4 baseball season is here. Fuck yeah, Steve. I love that.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Again, we're really proud to be teaming up with Yards. I wanted to end the show kind of how I usually do. And one of the fuck this is going to be a surprise. I'd like to say fuck the Archbishop Ryan Raiders. I think that's their name. Fuck the Ragdolls too. We ain't got nothing to do with them. But my team Roman is playing them tomorrow. At the Palestra Monday for the
let's go,
Catholic
baby
League title. I know that Penn has Palestra as its like home court, but it's kind of Roman's second home court. Let's be honest.
Hell yeah,
Ryan, you're not getting your first one.
Cardinal Doherty, undefeated since 2010. Cardinal Doherty, they haven't lost since 2010.
I was about to say, I was about to say my condolences to Cardinal Doherty. They've missed the playoffs since 2010.
Hey, they haven't lost a game either. So,
I just want to kind of go around, and because of having this birdhouse outside, I just want to generally say fuck the Blue Jays, fuck Joe Carter, fuck the Cardinals, fuck Scott Rowland. Thanks for being on. I hope I didn't say, and as always, fuck the Mets. So thanks for joining the show tonight. Good night. Have a good one, and we'll be on in 2 weeks again.
Thanks, guys. Fuck John Oldroot and his helmet.